not, well, there's no product which actually lets the user decide exactly what action he wants to do, and then tries to find someone else for that exact action. If there is, I was talking about City Socialize, which actually is having a contract with other companies which organize events, and those companies post events on their site, but they're not letting the everyday user do the same thing. So that's the main difference between us and every other company.
The reason why there is no service like this on the market is because there were dozens and they're all dead. One of the reasons for that is because the thing that most users will put in here is like, I feel like having sex. It's the way right? Somebody needs to point out the obvious. And that results in a community that doesn't really work, you know, because most of the people out there that want to do something with you are creeps, you know. Like if you're a girl, you know, and you're looking for someone to play tennis with, you'll have 20 guys applying who want to do everything with you, but play tennis. And you know, most of the people out there, you don't want to do anything.
You can filter that.
So how are you going to filter that out?
Well, that's a simple text filter, like having sex and having, you know, exclude all the dirty words. And you can actually choose the people you want to go with. So if you spot a creep, because girls, honestly, you can spot a creep. They're usually, you know, creepy. And I think girls' intuition is better than that, and I trust that intuition.
Right, so I feel like taking a piss, and I'm going to make money off of that.
Well, you're probably going to see some ads on the right side with toilets and, you know, companies which want to sell toilets, I guess.
No, guys, this is solvable because you don't have to let a keyword, you just make a select and that's it. So I feel this is not the biggest problem. And I see there are other players are trying to do live run is kind of in the same. The biggest problem of this is monetization, because all of you are trying to make money from small businesses in the city, and to sell to small businesses in the city is not easy. This, I would say, is even bigger than sex. And users, which cost money, and you don't take money back from the sellers that much.
Thank you very much, judges, for questions, and thank you, the team. So let's meet the next one.
Excuse me while we get the clicker working. No. So basically I'm going to cue. Thank you. Good day, my name is Mikna, and I'm here to present HooCh, which stands for HooCh Chat. Now, our application was developed by my team, composed of, next slide please, composed of Andrei, Diana, Radu, myself, and Mihai. Next slide. Now, what our application does is it provides easy communication between people found in their close proximity. Next slide. Now, this application, what it aims to do is bridge the communication between people found in the same location. It does this by determining a user's location, and with a predefined range, it finds other users in his proximity. When the other users have the first user in their range, that's when the communication between the two users is enabled. Now, we will run a small live demo of the application. Here I have a phone where the application is installed, and I just need to get it running. I'm inputting my username right now, and there we go. So we have the main channel, you can see top left. We have two channels, main and Startup Weekend Cluj. We enter Startup Weekend Cluj, and I'm gonna write online one person. I'm entering the channel online two persons, and hello. Okay, HS, hello. And hello, all right, that's it for that. Back to the presentation, please. Oh, my friend's also writing a message. So we see that the application works. Right, back to the application now. Spreading the word about this application. We do this by a few methods. QR codes in the key locations. We start from Cluj. We put some QR codes in the key locations in Cluj, enabling people, strangers, to talk together. We implement public channels, channels in diverse locations, maybe clubs, maybe universities. We aim for students, because Cluj-Napoca has 60,000 students. We have 3 large campuses. Each campus has about 5,000 students. That's a total of 13,000 students living in our campuses. All they have to do is simply be there to talk to each other. We made a short survey today. We had about 20, 30 answers. We came up with yes and no, 50 answers. This was how it looked at 4 o'clock. After that, we had, at 5 o'clock, we had 85% saying yes. Okay? Now, I've talked about public channel communication. This communication is done by having a channel and having a range of the channel. Now, in this range, in the channel's range, all users that are found can centralize their discussions to one point. Now, let's look at some situations. Where would you use this? First, we have social gatherings. Let's say you're in a club. Everything's loud. Or your friends left. You want to talk to someone. You just look at the application and see, hey, anyone want to grab a beer? Maybe someone else is lonely. Maybe they're looking for someone to talk to. Now, other applications have already done this. So what's different here? What's different is that we implemented plus and minuses for messages. Hey, look, this guy has a lot of pluses. Maybe I want to grab a beer with him. Or if you don't like someone, you can just ignore him. Next, emergency communications. Let's say you're in a disaster area. You don't know what to do in the room. You don't know if to sit in the room or go out. Maybe you can ask someone else. Is it safe? Hey, I'm still here. I'm still alive. Could you come help me? Tourist spots. You're on a place. You're in Asia. You don't know anything around you. You don't know what that store is selling. You go on and you see an ad by that store. The ad is translated by detecting your own language. And it says, hey, we have shawarma here. Last, dorms and flats. Maybe you're in a dorm. Maybe you're in your apartment. The light goes out. You want to ask, what happened? Does anyone know in this whole dormitory of 1,000 people what happened here? Now, revenue. How would we get revenue? We get revenue by ads, firstly, after we get some people, of course, get ads, localizing the ads, whatever, and on public channels. What we thought is this. Have businesses put their public channels for 1 year. In 2014, anyone can make public channels for free. Then, you gotta pay. Thank you. Be sure to check our link, it's cool. This is our landing page. Do you have any questions?
So like the most obvious question is like when I am in a certain location, so people, and I want to talk to them. Maybe I'm old school, but I just walk up to them and talk, without an application. So why would I squeeze an application between me and the surrounding people just in order to talk to them? That's number one. And number two, the same thing applies with the previous thing. Like everybody will want to talk to the hot blonde in the room. Nobody will want to talk to me. So in other words, a hot blonde, she doesn't need the application because everybody already wants to talk to her and me. No application will help me. Because nobody wants to talk to me.
I was once in a club and I was looking around to see who it is. I was kind of lonely. And I saw in one corner that the hot blonde was also lonely. No one had the guts to go and talk to her. Maybe you go on this application and you find out that everyone's interesting around you. Not just by their looks, but by what they're saying. Maybe they're saying something actually cool. And you go and talk to them not by how they look, but what they're on the inside. And also then... And also, what was your first question? Why not simply talk to someone, right? Well, we were using hashtags here, right, to centralize our discussions. But not everyone knew what those hashtags were. That's one situation. Of course, optimally, it would be that you go and talk to someone. This is made for the situation when you can't just go and talk to someone because maybe there's a wall between you. Maybe he's in the next room. Maybe you're each in a room and saying you're bored. Or maybe it's just too loud to go and talk to some random stranger. And you just ask all the random strangers, would anyone like to talk to me?
So how do you define the location? What's the dorm room is widespread, and my apartment block is very limited. It's like 10 square meters and it's vertical. So how do I know that I don't talk to apartments in like 1 kilometer away? Or how you define groups?
Firstly, you select your range, you define it by choice. So you can have a smaller range, like 50 meters or 10 meters, talk to just the ones in the current area, or you can have a range of like 100 meters to talk to the ones in your flat.
So you suppose that you have the location on the count, even if you are somewhere inside, you have the GPS position.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I hope it's no pictures and no names there, or are they?
I have one more thing to say. Maybe you really should think about if you want to do this, because we went out last night.
Sorry.
But I want to tell a nice story. Who wants to know what you did last night?
And we have a special announcement for that. We have an issue outside with the parking, so I would like the owner of the car with the numbers Cluj 18 BLV to go to take the car because you are blocking the space. Please, Cluj 18 BLV. An honor for this car. Thank you. So let's greet the next team.
Hello, we are CV Nation. We are a team of specialists with complementary skills, and we found a problem in the human resources industry. The problem is that a lot of people pimp their CVs or lie in their CVs. I don't want to put you raise your hand for this because it wouldn't be cool. And how do we solve this problem? Well, we think of a web tool, a web-based tool that can help you. So I'll let Bogdan show you a small demo and we'll talk.
So from a technical point of view, what we actually did is we turned off the presentation. Just a second. Technical difficulties. What we actually did is an application which allows you to social proof your CV. So basically you're entering the CV and then it gathers information from all of the social sites that you've mentioned in your CV, say your Facebook link, your Twitter handle, your LinkedIn profile. So it can actually validate your job experience. Say you've been a web designer in the past, LinkedIn can check that, can check with Twitter that you have tweeted about certain skills that you mentioned having, and also this could save time for the HR people who are going to check your profiles eventually. They can actually gather all this information into one easy to read page, because everything's pulled to this page for an easy and structured view. You will have your previous work experience, your tweets which are relevant to your skills, say #design, and this will be evaluated periodically. I'm going to hand the mic back to my colleague and he's going to create the business plan.
Okay, so we need just to switch to the presentation. Second. Okay, so we did a little bit of research and we found out that the human resources industry costs around 130 billions worldwide, and the amount of that put on tools is 1.3 billion. It's a lot of money. In the last days we also did some validation, quantity validation. We built this landing page. We got about 20 email addresses from HR people. positive feedback. We also have quality validation, meaning top HR persons from companies in Romania gave us some feedback, and that was also great. We have a product roadmap, a basic one. So the most important step and our most important functionality, it's the release number 2, data validation, which is going to be our unique selling point for this. For the business model, we are thinking about the freemium model. We want to educate the market on this, and also if they see that we bring value, they will be happy to pay us to use our tool more. The segmentation is done by usage, so the more CVs you want to validate, the more you will pay. For the customer acquisition part, we thought of direct sales to the companies. We also think of retailers, like job boards, Romanian job boards, or even job boards from the United States, because there is the biggest market. Monster.com is probably our biggest future partner, if I can say that. And I would like to thank you, and I'm waiting for your questions. Thanks.
I'm curious about the thing. Up to now, did you match to get some relevant information from the CVs? Because I saw something of presenting, but I think the key in this application is the technical solution that really get the information out from the social network.
In these 2 days, we managed to get information from Twitter and LinkedIn until now. So basically, all the tweets from a person, the profile from LinkedIn, and using those information, we also managed to validate some things with Twitter. For example, I have a lot of design tags on Twitter because I tweet a lot of design, and that helped me validate my design skills for my current job. So we did that, and it's functional right now. Okay, thanks.
How do you curate in order to make the information relevant? The fact that you're tweeting about design doesn't mean that you know anything about design.
Okay.
How do you actually curate that kind of process?
This is just a small bit of the whole validation part. So in the social media, we all share a lot of things. Basically, the social media and the internet knows everything about us. So if you work on a project, there's certainly some proof in the web, on Wikipedia, on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you have also your employees, your employer, your business partners. So on LinkedIn, it's not that probable that you would lie. So we could use relevant information and can really validate your CV based on this information. Yeah.
In a way, I think you're assuming that a person, a high-value person, will tweet, but that's not always the case. Sometimes high-value persons don't do any of that, and you're excluding them from the hiring process.
Excuse me?
So you're assuming that the high-value person will tweet, will have a LinkedIn profile, will participate in that stuff. That's not always the case. And through this process, you're excluding those guys.
Correct. That's a good point. But we get the CVs to the employers, and if you don't have social media, you're not excluded. You're just a medium person. If you are validated, you have data validated, you have a plus. So you're not excluded if you don't have LinkedIn or, I don't know, Twitter, like Steve Jobs. There is Wikipedia. You can validate him through Wikipedia.
And let's meet the next team, engagement management. Hi, I'm going to talk about the email plugin that enables organizational leaders to manage performance in organization in a way that actually works.
So what happens, we start from here. We have some of the employees that only do what they're told, who need constant monitoring and are not happy at work. And we have some of the employees who go the extra mile, have autonomy, and find fulfillment at work. Our main problem is that the wishful employees are only 30% of the global employment market, according to a Gallup survey. Okay, what we're doing, we're looking at the market size. The market size in performance management is huge. There are a lot of tools, and as you can see, it's growing in value. And also what happens is engagement management is the new buzzword because it overnight got to the 3rd place in top 10 worldwide management tools use. Okay, what's the client profile? There are different types of companies that we're going to approach differently, but basically the main criteria is that they bought in the last 2 years a performance management system, or they have a budget to buy in the next 12 months. And the industry that we're targeting is industry that works with knowledge workers. Decision makers is C-level, and we're entering in already approved HR budgets for this year. The value proposition is that this is the tool, and the cool thing about it and the benefits is that it's available in the environment where the employees already are, which is the email client. Almost no learning curve, which means that it can be deployed now, different from the competition. No overhead when using it, and it's an easy solution that will create a ripple effect. If you want to know exactly what employment management gives you inside an organization, my colleague will hand out some statistics so you can look at it later. But until then, let's look at the tool. These are the mock-ups for Outlook, because most of our clients used Outlook 2003, 2007, and beyond, but most of them corporations. And this is what the team member sees. He has a handle here in the right side of the corner, and when he clicks it, there's a window that slides over the email, so we're not messing up his email. What happens that here, he has his personal goals. They are private, nobody can see them except